So, like I was saying, everybody is, you know, from everything that happened to me, everything that happened to me with my Babylon dad and that situation, right, is being online, and everybody is like trying to understand the situation from my point of view and his point of view and everything. So, as you know, we met up, well, not even met up, but, you know, spontaneously we ran into each other today when we was bringing baby Eliana to get a checkup, and we wound up having a real nigga moment. And what you guys saw earlier was my perspective versus his perspective. Now, not to say that my perspective was the truth and neither was his the truth. It's just the way we computed the information that we were absorbing or observing in our reality. Now, I can't speak for him, but I can speak for myself. I know that what I went through with him, you know, because people, because of that situation and that real nigga moment, and it was two different sides of the story, people are looking at me as a liar, and they're saying that I wasn't being honest about what happened to me. But you must understand that everybody has their own perspective about something, right? Like, if something happens to you, like say if it's just two people, it's you and another person, the same situation can happen to you and the other person, but you guys both compute it in a different way. Both of you have different both of you have different perspectives about what happened to you, and no one should take away what you went through. You see what I'm saying? If anything, somebody should listen to what you went through and help you through it, no matter if it was negative or positive. You see what I'm saying? Somebody should be there to help you. If it's negative, help you understand it from a healthier perspective, and if it's positive, then support you in that positivity. But you see, when most people go through stuff together and they have a disagreement about what it is that they perceive from that situation, we like to shut people off and be like, well, I don't fuck with you because you don't think like me, and rightfully so, because you wouldn't want to hang out with somebody that's seen something that y'all both went through in a different way, especially if they're one trying to understand your point of view. It's okay to agree to disagree, but what's not okay is to bash other people for how they perceived something. You should be able to help that person, if anything, help that person get a clear understanding of what was going on. So what I was explaining to, you know, everybody in the world when I made the videos about my Babylon dad and everything that I had went through was my perspective and what I had went through in that place and time, coming from my position. No one was in my shoes but me to understand what I was going through emotionally, physically, and all the totality of my being. So, with that being said, no, even when I was younger, nobody took the time out to actually listen to my side of the story. No one actually sat down and took my thought process and my emotions into consideration to help me get over that. The only person who helped me was my husband, and he did not judge me for how I perceived it or anything, because he truly loves me. He truly understands my mind. Now, in Carbonation, we believe in astrology, and you really have to understand astrology and know your birth chart to understand how you perceive life, because that's the patterns of your mind, how you think about life. And that's exactly what I went through, right? Just in all the forms. Every person has an astrological programming, and everybody processes thought differently. And so you just so happen to see my thought process. And I have an aspect in my chart where, as a kid growing up, I felt like I was emotionally neglected. And I was neglected by both of my parents, because of the fact for my higher self reasons, not because they intentionally did it to me, not because of any ill intention that they may have had or anything like that. It's just that it happened in my life to keep me in a certain space so that I can continue my mission here that I came to do. Like, I set these programmings for myself. I set these debilitations. I set the way that I thought about the situation for myself, so that for specific reasons. Now, we can go into those specific reasons, but you really have to understand those reasons and where I'm coming from to even grasp what I'm telling you. In your life, whether it's you or your friend, your Babylon mom, dad, whatever it is, you set up certain ties with people to get you from point A to point B. And I just so happened to set a contract with myself that would not allow me to get emotionally attached to my Babylon parents, both of them. So at the end of the day, I did that for divine reasons on my behalf, because I have a way greater purpose than to stay stuck in a program of Babylon when it comes to the family structure and what they make us think about how family is supposed to be. And you're not ever supposed to graduate from those people that surround you, and you're not supposed to just graduate from that frequency of thought. So now that I'm older, and like earlier, what you seen was the closure from what happened in my childhood. Me trying to tell them my perspective, and them trying to tell me their perspective. And we bumped heads at the end of the day because, well, I understood their perspective, and I was letting them know that I did. But on another flip side of the coin, it was like, where if you don't truly want to understand somebody, then you're going to be shut out to everything that they're saying. You're not going to be able to accept their lifestyle. You're not going to be able to accept the fact that they understand where you was coming from, and you know that you perceive that in a different way. Now, I just want to speak for all the children out there who are going through who have broken families. I want to speak for all the children out there who are fucking confused because their Babylon parents don't know how to act and don't know how to deal with themselves and properly communicate their issues with each other to save the family structure for these children. Now, what happened to me as a kid, there's a lot of kids out there going through that. I was a confused child, and this is what I was trying to tell them. Whether I may have perceived it in a way that I may have thought that he neglected me or whatever the situation may be, bottom line is I was confused, because what you have it all across the world, because of how Babylon programs us, is two people get together for the wrong reasons because they're in their lower self, and then they wind up having a child as the product of their relationship. And so when they no longer serve each other, they wind up splitting up, and then the child is suffering the butt ends of the situation. Now, I went through that, and what I'm telling you is how I felt when I was going through that as a child. I was very confused, and like I said, tying it into astrology, by me having a certain astrological energy, I need to know. I want to know the truth. I need to know what's going on. And when you're getting just like anybody, if you're a child or a grown person, it doesn't matter. If you're getting two sides of the story, you're not going to know who to believe. So all you can do is speculate, because when you ask questions, you're still not getting a clear answer from your universe. All you can do is draw yourself away from the situation and compute it the best way that you know how. And that's exactly what I did. Now, I didn't compute it the right way, but what I'm saying to you is this, and what I was saying to my Babylon parents is this. When I came in contact with my husband, Master Chief Elianas, when I came into contact with him, he made me look at it from a higher perspective. And this is what I was trying to tell them all along through the whole time, is even though I computed it like that, I understood that I did it to myself. Because when you understand that this is a holographic universe, you understand that everybody is just a reflection of you, and it's a parallel universe of you that you need to learn something from that's going to strike something out of you to learn who you are. And it's up to you how you respond to it to even grow to the capacity of your best self, the best version of yourself. You know, we always like to point the finger and we always miss the point of what's needed for us to grow. And so that's what I was saying. I'm saying that I grew from that situation, and I no longer look at things in the most in an unhealthy perspective because of my husband. He gave me my higher self thought process. So in that moment, I was trying to express to them that I have forgiven them. Also, closing up the fact that, yes, I perceived that in the wrong way. That does not make me a liar. It just makes me as I was a confused child that did not know how to compute misinformation.
But they was really talking about the times where you were saying you called them on me. You know what I'm saying? Basically,
okay. So and that too, and that's another thing that I wanted to address, right? I only called, and this is another thing, now that I've addressed my childhood, because I felt like that was something very interesting. Like, I thought that was like something to say, right? Because people want to understand my childhood, understand where I was coming from in that moment. Now, when it comes to me getting mad and me walking away and me calling them in the moment when I was angry and having a conversation with them, you know, they recorded me, and it was very dishonorable of them because I had actually told them that I didn't want any, even if they did record me for their own benefits, that's all cool and dandy, but I asked them like specifically not to put our business out online. And this goes to show you the hearts of themselves, because no matter what the situation showed face of, or however much you didn't like the situation, you're never supposed to go against your word. You're never supposed to say something and then break your word, because your word is your bond. And if you really cared about me and you cared about my well-being, then that conversation wouldn't have never leaked into the goddamn online. You see what I'm saying? If that was the case. But that's neither here or there. The thing is, you know, I was very transparent about what I talked about in that conversation with my husband, because I don't lie. I can't lie. I'm not a good liar. You can feel when I'm lying. So when I talked to my husband that night, when I called him when I was at the hotel room, I had told him everything that was on my mind, just like I had told him everything that was on my mind about polygamy. People have this misconception that I don't talk to my husband about things. People have this misconception that I don't talk to him at all about the things that's deep in my heart. He knows things about me that nobody knows about. I talk to him about, even if it's something, even if I'm like in a sense disagreeing with him, he knows what's in my heart. He can feel me, and I talk about it with him, because my energies, I can't hold that in. I cannot hold my heart in. And if anybody knew who I was, they would know that I'm by default I be in disrespect. You've seen me, you know, just blurt out how I really was feeling. Though at the end of the day, if I never did that, I would never be able to get a healthy perspective of my situation. I could never truly get to the essence of our relationship, or have the relationship that we have in such a close and tight-knit bond that we have, without me being that transparent, without me talking to him about the things that's deep in my heart, even if it may seem like a disagreement in the moment. And we've had our dealings, you understand? And at the end of the day, that's no one's business. But because, you know, everybody's interested and it has come to the light in that way, we must address it. And so when I talked to him that night, I told him everything. I told him my plan. I told him how I was gonna leave. I told him why I was leaving. Yeah, let's keep him on, because I feel like I need to face this. So I told him my plan. I told him how I was leaving. I told him why I was leaving. I told him the conversations that I had with Bree, because I was talking to Bree. I told him about the I'm not gonna say these people's name, but I told him the other stories about me having conversations with 2 other people that I will not disclose in this live. I told him about the other 2 conversations that I had with 2 other women on how I was planning to leave and where I was going and stuff like that. And I told him the story or the conversation that I had with my Babylon stepmom, Tina, my Babylon dad's wife. I told him the conversation that I had with her, and I told him the conversation that I had with him. So nothing was left out. And now there was details that were kind of like miscellaneous, like here or there, and I want to address those too, because at the end of the day, the truth is going to come to the light, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I can't lie. So there was conversation at one point in time, like somebody tried to say that I didn't tell him about, or I was like trying to keep a secret about changing Eliana's name. Let me explain something to you. And I can say this for everybody else who leaves carbonation. When I went through this, I could truly understand how people leave carbonation and go against Chief. I could really understand the minds of those people, because I was once in that paradigm. And just thank the universe that I have the astrological programming to compute and get myself back on track. Because if it wasn't for my programming, I would be just like everybody else, going against Chief, saying all of these negative things about him that's not necessarily true, and not ever saying the positivity. And this is what you have out there. People watch Chief from afar, and they watch video here and video there, and they watch all the trolls, and they watch all of the 1-minute clips that people do with him, and they never go do their research to tell how much good shit that he did. Now, when I was angry in that moment, when I wanted to leave because I was computing information not in the most higher self, in the most highest perspective, I didn't like Chief. And I told him that. I said, I don't want to be with you. In that moment, that's how I felt. And this is why I left. So when I was talking to Bree and I was talking to Tina, I was telling them like how I didn't like polygamy and why I didn't want to be with him when I was in a polygamous relationship. Now, no one talks about when we was, solo. No one talks about our relationship and how much good times that we had in our solo relationship. And these are the times that I must speak on because no one knows him in that aspect. Well, people try.
Let me just say this real quick. Hey, man. I see y'all in the room being disrespectful to the subconscious mind. You in my house, it's gonna be respect. I know a lot of my haters, you know my rules. Don't play with me, all right? I will block you. I want you to be able to see everything from your page, from your main page. Don't make me make you make another page. Don't disrespect her when she's talking. You in my house, have some respect. You might not agree with me. You might not agree with her. But you in my house, have some respect because you're a respectful person. Hold your water, control your energy, control your emotions. You in my house right now, show respect or I'm blocking you. That's a warning. From now on, if I see somebody say something disrespectful, I'm sending you to the thank you screen. Thank you.
Okay, so now, like I was, so when I was in that mind state, when I was in an unhealthy perspective, of course I was going against the grain. Of course I was saying everything that I didn't like, and I had to stop myself because at one point of time in the conversation that I had with Bree, she even admitted that Chief is not totally all around bad. And the only reason why people think that Chief is bad is because how they're perceiving him. And I didn't even necessarily think that he was a bad person because I didn't want to do polygamy. I just didn't want to be with the people that we was with in a polygamous relationship. Now, with that being stated, the very thing, and this is what I was trying to, I did explain to my Babylon parents in that instance where we was at the restaurant, is what I was saying is, when I was in that relationship, the reason why I was trying to run and trying to go over there and trying to leave is because I didn't want to work on myself. I didn't want to face my debilitations and the things that I have to work on in my lifetime. Everybody had their shit. Everybody want to act perfect and act like they don't have nothing that they got to work on, but everybody has something. And Babylon makes you feel like you don't have anything to grow from or grow through because everybody's doing the same shit. You're all focused on mundane things. No one's growing their soul or expanding their soul to become the greatest version of themselves. And I'm just so happy to do that. I'm doing that to show you that you can do it and show you that there's more to life and that you can actually become a better person, more better than what you are right now in this moment. And so I was trying to run from myself. I was not trying to deal with that, because these women have brought out the very thing in me that I need to work on. And without me working on that, of course, my reality was shit, and I didn't like it, and I didn't like what was going on. But I had the power, and I had the control to make it what I wanted to be by working on myself, just like you. So because if you have a life that you don't like, or you're not satisfied with your life, somewhere down the line you're not growing and you're not working on yourself to get the reality that you think that you deserve. So with that being stated, I chose to, that day when I was talking to everybody and I came to my senses and I sat with myself and I looked at my child that was sitting next to, our child that was sitting next to me, and I thought about her growing up without her father, and I thought about me still in love with this man and not being in his life, trying to think about living a life without him, still trying to apply the knowledge without him. I thought that was the most stupidest shit ever, because you know why? All of the black women out here are doing that.
You gotta
my mom did that.
To your friends and family for misleading you.
And I did. And in the live earlier when I was at the restaurant, I do apologize for the inconvenience on everybody's behalf, because, and this is another thing that I learned, that he told me this a long time ago, and I didn't really understand what he was saying because obviously I did it again. Now, when you're in your emotions, you cannot act from that space. you can't get mad and say things that you don't mean, because at the end of the day, you hurt people and you summon energy, you summon spirits that go against what you actually believe in. So that's what I did. I created a world for myself that I have one side of my reality that's like truthful, and it's like, yeah, this is what you want, this is where you want to be, this is what you believe in. And then the other side is like, no, you hate him, you don't want to be there, you don't like being here. And so now I have to deal with the consequences of me acting out of my emotions and acting in an immature way that caused destructive interference in my reality. So learn from my mistakes and learn what I went wrong so you don't make the same mistake. Now, I feel like shit for that, because at the end of it, I feel ashamed because of my actions. My actions was very dishonorable. It was very immoral, and it was very childish. Now, if I forgive myself for that, then I forgive myself for that, and I choose not to make those same mistakes over and over, because I know that it doesn't serve me, and I know that eventually down in a lifetime I'm gonna have to repeat that same thing, and I'm not trying to do that. I actually want to grow. I want to be able to grow my soul this lifetime. I didn't come all of this far, like all of this way, to quitting and just turning back on myself and just giving up. Absolutely not. That's not even smart to do. Just how much work I put in, how much energy I put into becoming my greatest self. Why would I stop now? And not even taking myself out of the equation, right? And thinking about baby Eliana. She deserves her father. Whether I didn't like something that he did or what the case may be, I should want to communicate with him to get over that, so she can have him in her life and have me in her life and have both of us in her life and have her actual family in her life. Everybody here loves baby Eliana. Why would I ever put their relationship in jeopardy because I disagree with something that I didn't want to communicate about? And everybody should want to communicate about the things that they disagree with, because at the end of the day, if you love somebody, then love will do anything to get an understanding, because love is understanding.
That's a fact.
And when I think about my husband's perspective, I'm like, well, when I'm thinking in his shoes, I'm like, well, I didn't necessarily do you anything, but you could have communicated about how you was feeling. I have an avenue. I open up my space. I open up my mind for you to express yourself to me, express, how you're really feeling, and I never judge you. So why do you have this disposition where you feel like you can't come to me and talk to me, or you feel like you can't open up to me? And that was one of my worst fears, and I started to create a reality like that for myself too at one point. And it wasn't until I was very transparent with him about how I was feeling and what I was thinking is when he was like, baby, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was expressing himself back to me. And this is what people are afraid of. Everybody in relationships right now in Babylon are afraid to fully express themselves to each other because they're cowards. And he's teaching me how to not be a coward and to just stand up to what I'm thinking and to actually just address it and to face my adversities and be able to push past them and overcome them and become greater than them and not let them overcome me.
That's a fact.
Now, I learned from that mistake that I did when I get in my emotions and I go talking to other people, and they have their own perspective about him, and so it creates this warped situation or reality for everybody because they're like, but you told me this, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you were in the same predicament that I was in, and even not even making Chief an example, you've had a friend one day and you got mad at them and you reacted out of your emotions. Probably you've done this, and you reacted out of your emotions and you said something that you didn't mean, or you said something just because you wanted to forget about them, or just because you wanted to just push them away so much that you just keep pointing a finger at them and say, he did this, he did that, and not owning up to what you did and not taking responsibility for what you did. And that's what I was doing in that moment. And like I was saying earlier, to go back to this topic, I'm also speaking for everybody who left Carbonation, who turned their back and completely go left and talk about Chief like really down bad and make all these videos and try to defile him and make him to be this person that they perceive him to be that's negative. Because all of these people once was catered to by Chief. All of these people were taken care of just like me. And because you didn't agree with something that he did and you didn't take the time out to communicate with him, you had to go against him to the point where you had to make him seem like a bad person for you to totally not like him, to do what you're doing, to not ever be able to contact him again. And that's not the life that I wanted to live, because deep in my heart, I know this man is righteous. I know that he's my higher self. I know that I love him, and I know that I want to be with him, and I know that he's a good person. And it didn't even feel right. It didn't even feel right for me to keep carrying it out. Like, I talked about the things that I disagree with, and I was like, I just don't want to be with him because of those disagreements. And it didn't feel right. And at the end of the night, what I did was I called him on the phone, and I was like, at first I had my guard up, and he'll sit here and he'll tell you, at first I was still telling him, like, I don't want to be with you, I'm not being with you, like, I'm leaving. I still had that disposition, and he was still compassionate enough to sit there and listen to my mind, sit there and listen to my heart through it, like actually being in my immaturity. And that takes patience, that takes strength and understanding for you to do that for somebody, especially if you really love them, because you understand them. And he understands me. And if nobody ever understood me in his lifetime, it's a very stubborn person. Like, I have a lot of fixed energy. I'm a fixed energy. So it takes a lot for you to, like, you know, talk to me and try to break ice with me. But he knows how to do it because he's my husband. So once we broke that ice, and once he broke that ice between us, I just turned into mush. I turned into putty, because at the end of the day, I love him. Like I do. And I believe in polygamy, and I am polygamous, and we're going to have wives that are for us. It's just that in the time, you know, you draw people to yourself to teach you certain things about yourself, and you have to be able to stand up to those adversities through the people. It's not about the person, it's about what was representative of the person that you need to learn from. And once you overcome that part of yourself, either they're going to grow with you or they're going to be removed out of your life so that you can get to the next level of the greatest version of yourself. And so now, on the phone, when I was talking to Babe on the phone, I turned into mush, and he's like, you know. So what I did was, in that moment, which I should have handled this differently as well, because maybe this wouldn't have escalated as far as it did. Maybe this wouldn't have escalated as far as it did if I would have properly executed my response to this situation with my Babylon pops coming to Mexico to see me and to try to, you know, have a conversation. Maybe it would have been different, maybe it wouldn't have, but I still think that I could have handled this situation more properly. So when I decided to go back home with my husband, I text everybody who I had contacted in that moment when I was deciding to leave, and I told them, I texted everybody, I said, cancel everything. I said, this is wrong, I'm not gonna do this, I'm staying, something along those lines. I said, cancel everything, I'm not gonna do this, I'm staying, I'm gonna work on myself, I'm not leaving. Basically, this is what I said to everybody. And I just hurried up and deleted the app and like left that part of myself alone, because I felt so ashamed at what I did that, you know, I felt how the other people felt on the other side of the phone, who I had then opened up to and talked about my disagreements with Chief, and made them, you know, spend money on a hotel room, spend money on food, and go so far as to come all the way to Mexico to see if I'm okay, excuse me, to see if I'm okay. But at the end of the day, what I found out in that moment when I was talking to everybody was the fact that whether I told them that I was straight or not, people harass me. People go out their way to come stalk me, to find me, to see if I'm okay. You see me online, you see my life online, you see everything online, you know that I'm okay. If I tell you over the video that I'm okay, then I'm okay. It really insults my intelligence when I tell somebody that I'm okay and I know what I'm doing, and they step back and be like, no, something's wrong with you, you're brainwashed, you're this, you're that, you're all of this, right? That's really insulting, because I'm one of the most smartest people on the earth because of my husband. And for you to insult my intelligence to that minute of a detail of what you perceive is petty as shit. But it also shows me the heart of you, and it also shows me how mentally weak you are and how easily brainwashed you are for your lower self. Because if you was to take that same energy that you give me, you wouldn't be in the situation that you're in. You'd be able to get yourself out if you were more intelligent than I was. So let's talk about the reality of the situation. If you look at my lifestyle and you look at what I teach and you look at all my videos, you only watch the negative that's between me and my husband. But me and my husband have had great downloads. We done had great downloads and teachings, if you don't know what a download is, but teachings amongst both of us, you know, individually, that no one ever goes sees about. No one ever questions the knowledge. No one ever comes to ask us questions about the knowledge, but everyone wants to say he's brainwashing you, he does that, he does this. Everything that combination is doing, everything that Chief is doing, humanity must come to. Because at the end of the day, this is what humanity must stand for, not for the lower self, not to go against yourself, not to kill yourself, not to destroy yourself. And this is what I stand for. And through any measure that I am put through to say what I'm saying, to speak the message, to proclaim this message, I'm gonna do it. You see, and I do feel ashamed for stepping back on my word. I feel ashamed for
Who's saying that you called them though?
No, I didn't call them. This is what happened. In that moment, I had called Bree. Bree was the first person that I called in that moment, and I always call Bree, and you know that I always call Bree because that's the first person that I've been to. And like literally, that's the first person I've been to, and I found myself venting to her. Now the situation that happened at hand was that the fact that once I started venting to Bree, I found out that a lady was already on her way here to find me to do what my Babylon dad did today without my permission, without our permission, and without our recollection. I was like, word? And she's like, yeah. She's like, you might as well get in contact with her right now because she's already on her way there and such and such and such. Me being in my lower self and me already planning and wanting to leave in my lower self, I'm like, cool, that's a good idea. Like, I'm going for it. So she calls the lady on three-way. I never called anyone. She calls the lady on three-way to get me in contact with everybody. So that happened. I talked to the lady and she got me to the hotel and she got me the food. Once I stopped talking to her, that's when Bree started. Now I'm in contact with Bree. Bree is telling me all this information. Once I'm talking to Bree on the phone, the next person that pops up is Tina, because that's the person who connected me to, you know, the land. I don't want to give all that information. I don't want people to be, you know, go all that. But that's the person, the plan that I was telling you that I was going to go do it if I was to leave. So now Bree calls her on three-way and she knows the scoop. Mind you, they already tuned into the live. They already know that I decided to leave. So it's more than just like, okay, now we're in contact. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm talking to Tina and Bree about me leaving. So now Tina is telling me what I can do, my options within leaving and being subjected to my lower self. And so I decided, and I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. So after some time, Bree was the only person I talked to. My Babylon dad even got called on three-way by either by Tina or Bree, if I'm not mistaken. I think that he was in the call the first time Bree had connected her on the three-way call the first time that we talked. And I told him the exact same thing that I told both of them. I said, I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to go. and they gave me the options and stuff like that. And this is when I started feeling a little bit weird about the situation. Well, we know what happened in that conversation that made me start feeling weird about me leaving and going to the tropics, or coming to Babylon, like going to Babylon and then going back to the tropics. And I'm just like, why not me just stay in the tropics if that's the case? So that was a bit sketchy for me. And that's when everything started clicking in my mind. Like I started my higher self gear started to click in, because it made me start thinking. Like it just little stuff that happened to me that made me start thinking about my situation. He gets off the phone. Eventually, T.I. gets off the phone. So now it's just me and Bree talking. And when me and Bree are talking, we're talking about our life, basically. All the things that we learned, how far we done came on our journey, how far she had got. She told me a bunch of information that she never told me before, because every time me and Bree talked, it was always me talking about what I'm going through and how much I've learned, and this, and me, right? And so we talked for a minute, and by the nighttime fell, and in between me and Bree talking, there was a call from the lady who was on her way here, and she was going to help me get the paperwork for Eliana and get her passport and her birth certificate and stuff like that. And we talked about that. And the last conversation that I had was with my Babylon dad, and that was him trying to tell me, like, even coerce me more into the fact of leaving, make me feel even more comfortable to decide to leave, giving me options, saying that he's going to get a bus ticket to come here to get me, and we can do this and we can do that, and just saying little shit that would possibly plague my mind to make me go totally against you. And I was like, I just cut the conversation off. I was like, I'm gonna call you back. And then after I hung up the phone, I immediately, or you called me, because before I even got on the phone with him, I was listening to music. Me and Eliana had just got out the shower, and I was laying on the bed and I was listening to music, and I was thinking about everything. And I had called you about 6 times. I called Aya phone a good amount of times, Efru and Ra phone a good amount of times, and nobody was picking up. So by the time he got on the phone with me, he was talking to me. I cut it off, and then you called me. You was in the middle of that comment, and you called me, and I'm like, I was relieved that you popped up on the screen, because I didn't think that you was gonna call me back. I didn't think that, because we had been through so much, and so much had happened. I thought that I was really done. Like, I thought we were really done. So then I picked up the phone, and I still had the attitude, I still had the disposition, like, in my pride, saying like, well, no, I'm not coming back. Like, I don't want to be with you. I'm leaving, such and such and such. And then that's when I broke in, and the core of me just came out. Like, I'm just like, and then that's when you asked me if you could come see me, and I told you yeah, which I wanted you to anyway, and I did, because I wouldn't have never responded the way that I did if I didn't. And so when you came, you could feel the love that was between us, even no matter how hard I was trying to act or how hard I was trying to be. You could just feel it. You could just feel it permeating. And after some time, we walked back to the room, we sat down, we talked for about 2 hours, and I was like, this is not worth it. Like, I told you everything that was on my heart. We had a heart-to-heart conversation. You was being real with each other. You know what I'm saying? You was being with me, I was being real with you. And we got over that. And I regret and feel ashamed for my actions and what I did, because it caused the inconvenience on your behalf, my behalf, the whole family behalf. Everybody else coming here trying to, play this and that. But you know what? I came to the realization of I seen the fact that even if I told everybody that I was okay, even if I would have told literally tell everybody I'm okay, nobody believed me. Nobody believes that I'm okay. Nobody believes that I want to actually be here. So it wasn't until we had the real nigga moment today at the restaurant that I really got a chance to be okay, I'm okay, and everybody felt the vibes. Now, if you still harass me after that, something wrong with you. I don't know, I don't know what but I don't like it. I don't like you harassing me. You know what I'm saying? Because I live my life at the end of the day. I make the decisions here. You know what I'm saying? And I have a husband, and he, this is my life. And I don't go into your life and make decisions for you or harass you on the decisions that you're making. And if you are doing something that I don't disagree with, I let you go your way and I go mine. Because that's what's going to have to happen at the end of the day. So, yeah.
That's real. As far as calling them, shit go crazy. How you feel about that?
Huh?
You can't keep calling people when shit
go your
way.
And that's what I learned. That's what I learned. Because you told me that a long time ago. You told me, don't go talking to other people about your business, because everybody view things their own way. You have to deal with your problems with the person that you have a problem with. You can't go to somebody else with your problems, because they're not gonna be in your, they're not gonna see it from your perspective, and they're not gonna, in your lower self, they're not gonna help you vibrate to a higher frequency to think about what you just told them. So they're going to take it to a low vibrational place, and they're going to, it's like gossiping. You can't gossip about your dealings or your problems. You have to go straight to the source. You have to communicate straight with the source. And that doesn't mean tell them oh, this, I don't like this about you, and then try to run from yourself. No, it means tell them how you feel, tell them what you think, and then communicate from there, so that you both can either come to an agreement or come to an agreeing to disagree. And so that's what I've learned on my journey, not to it through even more other situations that happened to me in our relationship, not to react out of my emotions, but to just stay still and actually think about what I'm going through, or what I'm thinking about in my state of confusion. Yeah, exactly. That's a fact. And I've definitely got the consequences from what I did. You know what I'm saying? And I'm taking my own advice.
The law of cause and effect.
I'm sorry. And I just want to address this, if you think that it's redundant, or you think that, it's the same same thing. I say the same thing over and over and over. Everybody have the things that they have to go through, and it's not like most of the time it doesn't happen over. Most people don't find something that's wrong with them and be like, oh, I can change that right now. That's not realistic. That's really not. You have to have experience when it comes to this shit. You have to be put through some shit to actually get the lesson that you were supposed to learn. Now, if I, in moments where you see me, if I was doing the same thing over and over and over, which I have been doing the same thing over and over, I have to take responsibility for that. And because I took responsibility from doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, by acknowledging that, I was able to change it, because I don't want that to happen, because I want my life to stay what it is and grow from this space and not go backwards and live from a lower place that I once was. I remember how that felt. I remember who I was back then, and I'm not trying to go there. I'm trying to go forward. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to grow. And so I learned from my own experiences in that essence. But what I'm telling you is, if you don't like what I'm doing and you don't follow behind me, actually learn from my mistakes so that you don't have to make the mistakes to learn what I'm learning. Peace, reflection. How are you?
Hey, you guys. I tucked my hair out, and this is how it.
It looks nice. You should just let it freeform from there.
Yeah. I'm gonna wash it and put some conditioner in it.
How are you?
I'm fine. I just listened in. I just called in and listened in, and I honestly, I feel where you're coming from, because I've done the same thing. Like, I don't like when people say, "Oh, you say the same thing over and over," or you do the same thing over and over. Most of the time, when you're making mistakes, that's really like that's meaningful in your life, and that's going to really change in your life, then I feel like I feel like that it's kind of, it's not, I won't say it's hard, but it takes a while for you to, eventually come to that point where, as though, that's not going to happen. Like, you're not going to make that mistake again. Like, you can do the same thing over and over and over. That doesn't mean that you don't want to change yourself. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're going to want to change yourself, but it's just moving from your lower self to your higher self. You just have to, it's levels to it. You get what I'm saying? Like you said, it don't just happen overnight. And I just don't like when people bash you for that. I hate that. You can hear me? Hello? Is it better now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Well,
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What you were saying, the end part, what was you saying at the end part?
Well, basically the fact that I just don't like how people are trying to, I guess, tell you how you're supposed to, or give you a set time on how you're supposed to change yourself, or basically, say, oh, you can't keep doing this, and that over and over, and basically telling you that you don't want to change yourself. Basically, they basically saying that you're bullshitting, and I don't feel that at all, because like I said, I've been through that myself. Like, I done did the same shit over and over.
Yeah,
I knew I wanted to change, but it just,
yeah,
it takes
because
time.
everybody's bashing me for the shit that they had already been through in life. Like,
Right.
and they probably not even, they didn't probably even get over it. You see what I'm saying? People that made these same mistakes already. But people learn at their own pace, and people learn in the time that they need to. That don't mean bash me for it. That mean actually be like, girl, like, I actually give me advice, nigga. If you got the keys to my debilitations, get them shits to me. I need them. You see what I'm saying? Like, don't sit up here and bash me and make me, feel like a bad person because I'm doing something wrong. If you loved your brother or you loved your sister, you're supposed to help them at the end of the day.
Yeah. I just want to say, keep up the good work, and keep spreading the messages. I want to say, keep, I know you're going to stay motivated, but just don't let the negativity get to you at all. Especially when it's coming from people that's not in our circle. So it's just,
right. When I'm taking it one day at a time, I'm taking it with what comes to me. I wasn't expecting this today, and so I love my self-reflection. It kept breaking up. It kept breaking up. Well, I know that's not true because I got an aspect to the birthday. Mm-hmm. And my dream. Well, you are. We got so much self-hate, like, in the building. It's ridiculous. It's like, y'all don't love yourself.
Hello.
Face reflection.
Hey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Growing.
Good. Yeah. So I heard you saying that if anybody who has the keys to the debilitations or the issues that you're dealing with mentally. So as an Aquarius moon, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So as an Aquarius moon, I suppose, and that's only my humble point of view, the debilitations that are happening is because of a mind who keeps putting, I don't know who's reading my mind right now, but okay. So basically the fact that the mind is receiving many information, one becomes like, knowledgeable ignorant, because information is
Peace reflection.
Hi, babies. Okay, I'm at work. I just wanted to say something. I've been watching y'all for about 2 to 3 weeks now, and I wanted to say something to the trolls. Oh my God, I'm a Libra, first of all, and I'm very intelligent. I love to love. I love people. I love you guys. I sit back and I watch all these men.
We're back. Reflections. It was breaking up, pausing really bad, breaking in and out really bad. So if you have a question, you can call in. Okay, let's see. This lady who was talking to her. Peace reflection.
Peace reflection. I'm back. Mom, can you get them for me? Okay. Okay, I'm back now. But I was watching, I think, a live that you guys were doing yesterday.
Wait, you muffled.
Yesterday or
You
day
muffled.
before.
Take your hand off the speaker.
Huh?
You muffled. All right, there you go. Your hand was on the speaker.
Oh, okay. But it was a live that you guys were doing. I forgot the guy's name, but he was on live yesterday with Chief. Was it yesterday or day before? And I guess he was, I don't know what he called himself doing, but my thing is this. I respect what you guys are doing. I love it. It's different. You guys aren't killing anybody. You guys aren't murdering anybody. You guys aren't judging anybody. You guys are simply just living your lives. And everybody have a unique soul. All you guys have a unique soul. I just wanted to say, stay encouraged. This world is so judgmental. And since I've been back here in Chicago, helping my dad run his businesses, I'm running into so many people, all of my black people, all of my sisters. I love you guys, whatever. But I'm learning so much about people, and especially our own people be so quick to judge each other, and it's sad. I mean, instead of people getting on here, it seems like everybody want to challenge him to everything. It's like he's respectful enough to answer your lives. He's respectful enough to talk, and then and then these are men too. Like you trying to go toe to toe with him. It baffles me, and it had me in tears yesterday, because I'm like, damn, black people, look. And then no, you don't listen to me. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Because they hate themselves, and just even watching our lives and stuff like that, people can't appreciate it because they don't appreciate what they have. You know what I'm saying? They can't
Right.
take a look in their life and appreciate the things that they have for themselves. So of course they're gonna look at somebody else and be like, I don't care, fuck that nigga or fuck her or whatever, however they decide to express that
Right.
negative energy. We don't love
Right.
ourselves. So you see, we go against each other, we kill each other, we bash each other, we do everything negative to each other, but love each other and understand each other.
Right. So I appreciate that. But yeah, that live that I was watching yesterday, I'm like, I had to work. I was so busy working yesterday. And then I was cooking for the kids. I was just all over the place. But I'm like, I wanted to get added in, but my kids are making so much noise. So I said I was gonna try back today. But I just wanted to say, from one sister to another, and hold on, wait. Okay, let me get that off of there. I respect guys. Keep doing y'all, and I see sometimes you guys go back and forth and your emotions are all over the place, and then you're leaving and then you think, so what? People sit back and I see the comments, oh, Nana's leaving, oh, she's mad again, oh, she need to grow up, oh, as if they don't go through shit themselves at home. You people are so judgmental. God, oh my God. If you're not going to say nothing, if you're not going to say nothing nice, if you're not going to show respect, then why the hell on? Why even sit back and watch if it's so negative?
That's why people get blocked. That's why people getting blocked.
It's petty. We don't stick up for each other. We don't support each other. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad. So I just wanted to say this one thing. I love what you guys are doing. I will continue to support. I may not look like nothing now, but I pay a mortgage. I pay my car notes.